My guess is you've likely clicked on this video because you are fed up of being fed up. And I completely understand. Here's my backstory in 5 seconds. So basically, I used to be broke. I used to drink on the weekend. I used to take a whole lot of drugs. I used to get into fights and I used to get arrested, and my life was not going anywhere at all. So I've decided to make these videos so you, the viewer, cannot make the same mistakes I made, and you can get what you want out of your life. Now, I'm currently 4 years sober and I am absolutely thriving, living in the sunshine in Australia, whilst in the process of building a business which will set me financially free in the future. Now, I'm going to share with you some hard, cold truths in this video about where you could end up if you don't apply some discipline in your life. So if you're not ready for that, click off now. Now, I've got a quote for you which I like to open up with, and it is, "Many men live quiet lives of desperation." Now, what that basically means is many men find themselves stuck in a monotonous life where they are working a job that they hate and they're in a relationship that they're not really into and they can't break free of it and they don't know what to do, so they just sit there, stay in the same situation and, you guessed it, suffer in silence. And we don't want that for you. I didn't want it for myself. That's why you have to make drastic changes in your life. And discipline is one of those changes which will get you the sort of freedom that you want in the future. Jocko Willink said it best, discipline equals freedom. Now, the reason life is happening to you and not for you is likely because you are unable to put any sort of discipline into your life and see through things that you set out to do. Now, what I'm going to share with you in this video are just some observations and things that have worked for me. Now, obviously everyone is different, so if anything doesn't resonate with you, you can just disregard it and go on to the next. Now, the way to look at discipline is basically to redefine it into self-love and not punishment. Now, the thing that was holding me back in life was alcohol. I was going out on the weekends and I wasn't recovering until Wednesday. I would spend all my money on drugs and alcohol, and I would ruin relationships which I spent months or even years developing, and within seconds I could just completely self-destruct my life. And there was a point where I realized one day that if I don't stop drinking, then I am never going to be able to achieve anything worthwhile in life. So there and then I decided I was going to quit alcohol. That helped me quit smoking and it eliminated drugs from my life, and all the bad people in my life were gone as a result of that. So bearing in mind, it actually took me to the age of 30 to realize that enough was enough. So you've got plenty of time. I don't know how old you are. You may be in your 20s, you may be in your 30s or even your 40s, but it is never too late to apply the principles of this video into your life. Now, by acting like somebody you respect, by definition, you start to respect yourself. The next step is make discipline a part of your identity. Now, when you visualize this person that you're aspiring to be, you need to ask yourself these following questions. What does this person I aspire to be say yes or no to? Do they say yes to junk food, watching porn, going out to the club and staying out late? Or do they say no to these things and yes to working on themselves in the gym, building a business, reading books and educating themselves? Now, you need to ask yourself this question and you need to be real with yourself. You need to say, what am I saying yes or no to in my life which are bringing me closer or further away from the life I want to live? Now, I always say to myself, when I'm laying in bed in the morning and my alarm goes off at 4:45 a.m. and it's in the winter, it does get cold in Australia, by the way, I say to myself, if I stay in bed, is that aligning with the person that I want to be? If I'm putting out these YouTube videos, is me staying in bed and not going to the gym in the morning when I said I was going to go, Is that making me into the person I want to be? Or am I lying to myself and lying to all the people who watch my videos? And usually, surely enough, that is enough to get me out of bed at 4:45 a.m. and I am in the gym at 5:30 in the morning before work, and it sets me up for a great day. 3, when cultivating discipline in your life, it is a good idea to be mindful of the sort of environments that you place yourself in. Now, if you're somebody who wants to stop drinking on the weekends and you are working towards a career, then you need to ask yourself this question. If I go to the pub tonight with my friends and I stay out till 1 a.m. and I get drunk, is that going to be able to put me in a position where I can wake up in the morning and I can start working on my projects? Or is it going to make me someone who's going to feel hungover, eat junk food and lay in bed all day? Now, I like to try and eliminate the time that I spend in pubs and clubs and other places that don't serve me to an absolute minimum. For yourself, creating the environment for discipline could be packing your gym kit the night before and leaving it ready by the side of your bed for the morning. So when your alarm clock does go off in the morning, you have the least amount of resistance possible. Your gym kit's already packed for you and you can go straight to the gym. So cultivating an environment which aligns with your goals is the best way to stick to discipline without friction. Number 4 is threaten yourself. So I always like to threaten myself with the scenario: if I don't do what I say I am going to do, how will my life plan out? So when I was drinking and going out on the weekends, not going to sleep, I said to myself, okay, Ben, you're 30 years of age. If you continue doing this until you're 40, your life might as well be as good as over. You're never gonna have that car you want, you're never gonna have that house you want, and you're never gonna attract that beautiful girl. And within an instant, I completely changed my mindset, and that was enough for me to say enough is enough, and I was able to be disciplined enough to stop drinking alcohol. So you can use this your own way. Threaten yourself with the alternative. If I don't go to the gym in the morning, then I'm not going to lose weight and I'm not going to be able to attract a partner in the future. So whatever way you want to use it, so threaten yourself, and that should be enough to kick your ass into gear. 5, have a good starting system. Have a good system that's put in place so you can start doing the thing that you want to do with a minimum amount of friction. Now, for me, I've recently started making YouTube videos, and when I sit down after a long day's work, I come home, I open the laptop, and I'm trying to write a script or bullet points for the video I want to do for this week, and it's quite hard. Sometimes I sit there, I get complete writer's block. And then I say to myself, you started this channel, you've told everyone you're going to do it, and then I just imagine all these people laughing at me and saying, haha, Ben can't do this, he's a failure, and then that just kicks me into gear. And then once I start, I get into it, and then I just start flowing. So whatever works for you, find a good starting point. 6, when you're on a way to being a disciplined individual, you want to stop burnout by all costs. Now, I have been working for almost 10 months straight, doing 6 days a week on a building site and creating content in the evenings. And I had this realization the other day. It was on Thursday, and I usually come home from work and I just sit down at my laptop and I start creating content. And I just felt burnt out and I couldn't get any ideas out, and it was very frustrating. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go to the shop, and I went and bought a chocolate bar. Very simple. I bought a chocolate bar. I listened to some music in my car and I said, you know, fuck it. It is what it is. I might not get work done tonight. I've got no creative ideas. I just let it go. I came home, and then all of a sudden I just had all these ideas come into my mind. And then I tried to piece it together the following day, and it was just because I broke my routine. I've been so structured for so long, I just allowed myself that little bit of freedom, and it was enough to be able to kickstart a creative spell in my mind. So Our experiences shape our reality. So to avoid burnout and not being able to stick to your discipline journey, just give yourself a little bit of a break and a little bit of freedom. 7, this is called discomfort training. Yes, discomfort. Now, this is a very simple one to cultivate to bring discipline into your life. If I see something which is only going to take 2 minutes to do, for example, taking the bins out, I just do it straight away. It's something that I don't really want to do and I would probably put off to the following day, but I just do it there and then. I put my slippers on, I take the bins out, and it is done. It's discomfort, I don't want to do it, but it just builds up a sort of tolerance in my brain.